Freedom is something everyone takes for granted. Freedom is also something we all see from a different perspective. Freedom is something we, as U.S. citizens, refuse to renounce, whether it be our freedom of speech or our freedom on what we could wear to school. It is something we all acquiesce. As young students, we all see the world, its people, and our rights differently. As the future generation, we are looked up upon to make a difference in this world, in this country. The dream was so looked upon by many activists was that we hold these truths to be self-evident and all men are created equal. As a part of our future society, we also expected to keep this dream alive. In order to do that, we must follow in the steps of activists such as Thoreau, Rosa Parks, and Gandhi. We must be able to fight with our words and minds instead of physical actions. This nation can push for change. This nation can non-violently push for the change we need, and that began with the words of Thoreau. As one nation, we must keep this dream alive by treating one another equally, by looking at them by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. The students at La Mirada High School do follow in these footsteps. The student body is made up of all sorts of people and character. We accept for each other who each individual is. It doesn't matter if they're talkative, have hundreds of colors in their hair, the tallest person in the world, or the shortest person in the world. Here at La Mirada High, we base our friends on their character. We do our part by keeping the dream alive, and others should too. The Speeches Society listens to be an inspiration and or motive to them, to be a better person and try to do their part in keeping that dream alive. The world sees freedom as a privilege. To most people, it is a privilege. To me, it's a right I was born with. It's the freedom of speech, it's the freedom of religion. It's the freedom to dress the way we want. It's our right to be free in the United States of America. It doesn't matter what race you are, what you like, what you don't like, or the way you speak. In the United States of America, it is our right to be free, and that's one part of our dream that lives and will continue for years to come. As a teenager, student, and person impacted by Thoreau's beliefs, I could help make an impact by spreading the word and helping keep the hope of instead of just refusing comply with certain laws people might actually pull a Thoreau and use civil disobedience as an excuse. Continuing on, the goals of Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks are similar because they both wanted the same rights as white people. But most importantly, wanted equal rights among living people in the United States at the time. They stood up for what they thought was right. They used Thoreau's format of nonviolent fighting and set a new standard on what meant to be free in the United States. In some parts, they were hated for what they said. They spoke anyways. That should put a message out there to be in society today, because even though you may not be heard, you are still speaking and someone is bound to be listening. The words and hopes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks is still live today. We as a nation just need to pay more attention to it. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, and that dream is one day we could all be equal. During that era, there was a thing called freedom, but was it really? So many people were treated as if they were owned. The United States at one point was a country. It was not intended to be. Luckily, we have gone past that and adopted a new slogan: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. President Obama tied all of these beliefs, speeches, and people together at his Let Freedom Ring speech earlier this year. It showed millions of people in the United States it isn't like it was 50 years ago, and that we all followed in Martin Luther King Jr.'s footsteps. We don't judge people by the color of their skin. We sit wherever we want on buses. 50 or more years ago, people pictured the United States as a home of freedom, hence the reference land of the free, home of the brave. Have we successfully accomplished that goals of millions of people want so dearly? So far, we've done a pretty good job. This speech has spoken so much about freedom and what it means to teenagers, but what it is to adults, the people who run this world, and people we are expected to become. It's the right to do whatever we want when we please, to say what we want, and to come and go as we please. It is also our right to do what we want in life. Yes, freedom is these things, but there is so much more to it. From a teenager's perspective, the world is so obscure, the only thing that lets it clear is freedom. The United States is truly the land of the free, and we should keep it that way. We should also be an inspiration for other countries to be free as well. Many people are strangers to the word free and has no meaning to them, but as a country who lives by it, we should be collaborate and spread its meaning. Not only should we be the inspiration of other countries, we should be their voice. The United States could be the voice for the voiceless.
We have kept this dream alive for 50 years. We could keep it alive for countless more years to come. This dedication was for those who died knowing what they believed in and dedicated their lives to the idea that one day this nation will come together in harmony, in one, and stand together as a country. This country today is known as the United States of America, and we do stand together, united. There are 50 states. Within those 50 states are millions of people. Within those millions of people lays a dream. That dream continues to thrive. Together we can push harder and spread that dream to other countries until it's known worldwide, and one day the entire world may stand under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.